Top Fuel qualifying at the 60th March meet, Mother Nature set low ET and top speed. Because of the sporadic rain, the fueler guys and gals were only able to get one shot in for qualifying. Everyone knew that the weather was going to be dicey, so they set caution to the wind, put the hammer down, pulled the brake, and backpedaled in furious attempts to put a number up. Adam Sorokin hit the throttle 5 times in an attempt to qualify and ended up on the bump with an on-again, off-again 751. He will face your number 1 qualifier, Mindy Fry, in a first-round ego battle where anything can happen. Tomorrow's first round is going to be insane. Pete Wittenberg, Jim Murphy, Brendan Murray, and the other fearless dragster drivers are going to be battling it out to take Top Fuel at Bakersfield, where dreams are made and glory is for the taking.
I'm just hoping it doesn't fall off.
Well, hold on to it when you do that, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm going on 2.5 hours sleep right now. Worst one I've ever had. I mean, the blower is smithereens.
When you are banned for life, okay, now I really know where I stand. Right. Another problem.
The guy wasn't that friendly.
But on that fuel,
On and off the throttle.
Welcome to Drag Strip Rumble, our second season, and I know, we made it, right? Second season, it's crazy. This is Top Fuel action from the 60th March meet. This is Whit Bazemore, I'm Cole Kuntz. Whit qualifying was completely off the hook and gonzo and somewhat anticlimactic.
It really was, simply because the AA fuel dragsters only got one run in which to qualify, and that makes the race kind of a crapshoot.
There are 4 March meet former winners in the show, and they're all on one side of the ladder. You've got Jim Murphy, Adam Sorokin, Mindy Fry, and Rick White. They've all won it before. They all know what it's like to taste victory at the coveted March meet. So on the other side of the ladder, you have 4 drivers who have never been close, to be blunt. Brendan Murray, Dan Horan, Pete Wittenberg, Brett Williamson, and some of these people came as far as 2,000 miles to make one hit. Tim Cullinan, unfortunately, came from Illinois, got the one lick, and that's it, one and done, as it were. You have the Ruskowski entry, the Exhibitionist, a small block Chevy from Vancouver, Canada. Also, one hit, they oiled it, they were DQ'd.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how these people, the Ruskowskis, the Dusty Greens, the Rick McGees, how they are managing their grief and what stage of grief they might be in at this moment in time.
Well, I can only relate to how I felt when I didn't qualify, which was, quite often, unfortunately. I won't admit that too many times in public, but it is true. And, I was always somewhat suicidal, never happy.
Well, different people manage their grief in different ways.
Right.
And you can't judge.
can't judge, but, you know, I was always out looking for a bank to rob, so we had enough money to get home.
Our condolences to the 4 drivers who didn't make it, but now we're going to focus on the 8 that did. And it's Mindy versus Adam. Are there some other matchups that you find particularly intriguing?
All of them.
Okay.
You know, Jim Murphy is running Rick White. That could be a good race. You know,
Yeah.
Murphy's here without his tuner Roland Leong simply because he's running a limited schedule.
I see.
Didn't make sense to pay the huge bucks that Roland commands. There's Brett Williamson up against Dan Horan. So that'll be a good race.
Anything can happen.
You know,
Yes.
Mike Fuller tuned entry.
Generally good for 900 feet. Let's see if he can go 1320.
Yep, maybe.
Lastly, we have Pete Wittenberg. Again, we've alluded to his struggles versus Brendan Murray, who we have not seen in this Eliminator in quite some time, and he's been racing Nostalgia Top Fuel since 1988.
Really? They had it back then? Oh, wait, it's Nostalgia. They had it a long time ago.
You know, Nostalgia ain't what it used to be, but we'll take it. So come back for the first round of Top Fuel Eliminator at the 60th March meet.
Hi, I'm Brendan Murray, and this is the driver of the AA Fuel Dragster Running Wild. This is kind of an ugly situation. The weather's coming in, track's getting ugly. We all kind of second-guessed ourselves. This is not a pretty way to be in it, but it looks like we're in the show.
Pete Wittenberg, driver of the Circuit Breaker Top Fuel car. I averaged 1 trip down the Grapevine per lap down the quarter mile. We left here at 8 p.m. Got the motor built by 2 a.m. Got 2.5 hours sleep. Got back here by 8 a.m. Put it in the car, made a lap. We got it in the show, and all is well.
Welcome back to the 60th March meet, Dragster Rumble, Top Fuel Eliminator, the second qualifying session. The scratch that. This is the first eliminator, but there was no second qualifier. There was no third qualifier. Henceforth, these guys don't know where they're at. Whit, what can you say about Pete Wittenberg's entry?
Well, Pete's he's kind of turned over a new leaf. He's got 1 year under his belt as a driver, and that's very important. But I think more importantly for him is he's got ace tuner and a very good driver in his own right, a great racer, in my opinion, Jimmy Young, helping him. So I would say they're the favorite, but you know, last year I would say these guys were evenly matched.
So when you said ace tuner, you were looking at the footage of his backup girl.
Yes, she can probably tune him up, but Jimmy Young will be tuning him up now.
Pete Wittenberg needs no real tuning up. Brendan Murray could use a little help. He gets out of shape, it shakes, he shuts it off. Wittenberg advances with a 584, 220 mile an hour. Wittenberg will take on the winner of the Brett Williamson-Dan Horan matchup.
You know, a 584, that was a good, I would say a good conservative run. You have to go down the racetrack to win, and they did. It's a starting point.
I'm Dan Horan Jr. from Rancho Cascades, California. I'm the driver of the Digger Dan Special, my late father's front engine top fuel car, working with the Kaiser family, running a tribute to my father in Nostalgia Top Fuel.
Hey, my name's Brett Williamson. I drive Top Fuel car for Mike Fuller, Forever Young. I'm from Gilroy, California. Mike's from Pleasanton. All the crew's from Sacramento. Boss man told me do whatever it takes to get this thing A to B. I don't know what Mike was thinking, telling me do whatever I do. I don't know if I did that right, man.
So here we go, second pair, Top Fuel Eliminator, round one, the 60th March meet. Brett Williamson versus Dan Horan. I will tell you this about Dan Horan. He's pulled out his old man's piece of pipe and as an homage to his dad's racing career. Dad passed away a couple of years ago. The car sat in mothballs. Horan wasn't busy enough just running a funny car. He had to run a dragster too. double duty. It has to be an exercise in schizophrenia.
Yes. That's a hard thing to do.
Yes.
Because they're very different beasts. And but it's also something that Brett Williamson has done oftentimes.
That's true.
Well,
that's true. So both these guys have done double duty.
Yes.
Danahan might have learned more about this racing surface because he has had more laps, because the funny cars actually got to make 3 hits to the dragsters 1.
There is that, but still, it's a clean slate. You know, I would say Brett. He's a really good driver.
Yes.
I mean, he's a great racer, and he's with Mike Fuller. They have a very top-notch team.
Wow. Williamson burned up a bunch down there. There's all kinds of...
That thing's on fire, big time.
Yikes. He does take the wind light, but did he take the fire extinguisher?
That's a big fire. Yeah, 579 though, it's a good run. He got the win. It's out of the car okay. You know, these cars with the engine in front means when the thing's on fire, it's usually a problem. It's not like the other top fuel dragsters that Big Daddy came up with in 1971. When the thing's on fire, it's all behind you, but some people, funny car drivers, present company included, and these guys are still dumb enough to sit behind a nitro burning engine and try to rotate the earth.
Well, at the 60th March meet, Brett Williamson and the Mike Fuller team are going to have to dig deep to even make the call.
Hi, I'm Mindy Fry, driver of the High Speed Motorsports Top Fuel Dragster out of Anaheim, California. I've got Alana and Morgan. These are the Nitro interns from the Bakersfield College Automotive Program. I got girl power on my team this weekend, and we're gonna win this thing. So cheesy.
Hi, I'm Adam Sorokin. I drive the Champion Speed Shop Top Fuel Dragster. I drove this car in qualifying with a kidney stone in my left side. What would kill most mortal men, I got in this thing and pedaled it 5 times to try to win this race. You tell me I don't want to win the March meet.
So now we come up to what is going to be a real Donnybrook. Mindy Fry is your number 1 qualifier versus Adam Sorokin, who barely got in with a number 8 shot, a completely mediocre, if not useless, 751. They have no data. They don't know where they are with this car. Meanwhile, Mindy is going A to B seamlessly.
Well, she went A to B seamlessly once.
A to B minus.
It's still anybody's drag race. It really is. As much as you'd like Mindy to take care of this.
For lack of a better phrase, I have no dog in this fight, but Adam Sorokin has often had Mindy's number. Mindy's pulling in deep.
Wow, look at this.
Mindy put out the top bulb and then just drove away. She murdered some pistons, but a 569 at a 261 mile an hour, that is a career best mile an hour for the Nitro Kitty. Meanwhile, Adam Sorokin has to just watch her march away. He did give pursuit, but it was in vain. His 611 is not cutting the mustard.
Adam still had problems. He had to pedal it, but he did a great job trying. I mean, and that's what you do. You do not give up, and you don't shut the thing off until the person ahead of you crosses the finish line. It puts Adam on the back foot for the rest of the year. They've got to overcome now a deficit in the points to win the championship, and that's the goal of these top teams, is to ultimately win the Heritage Series championship.
I'm Jim Murphy out of Santa Rosa, California. We might have lucked into this deal because of the rain, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. I happen to be both.
Rick White from San Diego, California, with the Neil and White Top Fuel Dragster. We won this race in 2011. We've been runner-up here a couple of times before that. We're ready to try to put this thing away and do it again.
This is another interesting pair between 2 Nitro veterans. Jim Murphy, who has won this race 4 times, as we've alluded to often, is seeking a 5th, and it's pretty elusive.
But he's here this year without Roland Leong, who helped him last year to win the championship. You know, so Murphy is he's a tuner in his own right.
Yes.
And he's calling the shots on his own car.
Right now, we're looking at Chuck Neal, who's been running A Fuel cars forever. He's been running front motor top fuel cars forever. These guys know how to put up a big number. They know how to put up a ridiculous mile an hour. Let's see what they got. Rick White pedals it. This car gets out of shape, it bounces around, but at the big end, Jim Murphy does in fact advance with a 584, 231 mile an hour. But holy Christ, that's a lot of pistons he burned up.
Holy smokes, you got that right. These guys, they all just murder their stuff and burn the hell out of it. It's crazy, but a lot of piston smoke. So, coming up, your second round matchings will be Jim Murphy, your Heritage Series points titleist, versus Mindy Fry, your 2017 March Meet winner. The other pair will feature Pete Wittenberg, the Cinderella story thus far, against Brett Williamson, assuming they can button it up.
In the first round with a mud in your eye 569, Mindy Fry faces a familiar foe in the semifinals, Heritage Series champion Jim Murphy. Murphy is racing for his 5th March Meet title. Mindy is gunning for a back-to-back conquest. In the other match, some new faces are making noise. Pete Wittenberg and Brett Williamson. These two are champing at the bit to take out Top Fuel royalty.
Okay, welcome back to the 60th March Meet Top Fuel Eliminator semifinal action. And we're starting to see the creme de la creme, or the new creme de la creme. Again, there's new faces. There's Brett Williamson, there's Pete Wittenberg, and one of them will advance to your Top Fuel final. I'm surprised Brett Williamson is even here, Whit.
That was a hell of a thrash getting that thing ready. It was fun to watch, and we were there with our cameras, and the thing started. That's step 1. It's done a burnout. That's step 2. And now it's just got to go down the racetrack quickly.
Yes. Well, speaking of burnouts, some of Williamson's crew might resemble the gang that couldn't shoot straight. Somewhere between that and the Wild Punch. I've never seen those guys work so hard. You've got guys,
even the old man.
Even the old man. Mike Fuller was giving it plenty. I mean, is this relaxing for this guys? Is this therapeutic? Why are they doing
It's
this?
his hobby.
I mean,
very successful businessman out here having fun, and if you call it that,
yes.
You know. But I guess when it's not a job, it is fun.
I don't know, man. If I had that money and I was that age, I would be at the beach. Jim Young is a 2-time March Meet winner who is not driving this year, or at least not at this event, and he has volunteered to help Pete Wittenberg out, who could have used the help, and apparently it is paying dividends in the fact that they're at least in the semifinal round. Wow, there's some pedaling going on there, and there's some mixing up some cylinders and burning of cylinders, and Pete Wittenberg does in fact advance to the Top Fuel final. He goes to 583 at 219 miles an hour to a losing 594 of Brett Williamson. Pete Wittenberg is going to be in the March meet final.
That's very cool to see. You know, you like seeing an underdog guy like that doing really well. It's very cool. You know, good racer.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yep.
And he's a good racer because he got help from Tom Shelar. He got help from Jim Young.
Right.
He's a guy doing whatever it takes to be successful and have a fast car. The definition of a good racer. You do whatever it takes. Even if you can't afford it, you still do it.
There are some that said that you could use some help. Would you be willing to accept help?
Now?
Yes.
No.
So you're not a good racer.
Well, I had a lot of help back in the day. But, yeah, I don't know. Do I? Yeah, I don't know. You got me confused now.
Many of us need help. I'll leave it at that. So, you were discussing help in the pits, and here we have Jim Murphy versus Mindy Fry, both of whom have accepted help from the Jim McLennan Drag Racing Foundation's Top Fuel Intern Program.
Which is a very, very cool program that Bob McLennan has instituted here this weekend. And, you know, Bakersfield Community College provided the interns, and out of like 400 students in their automotive department, I think 18 or 20 came to the races. But all the teams accepted an intern or two to help them throughout the weekend, which is really saying something because you're taking a new crew person who knows nothing about drag racing and putting them to work on your team at the biggest race of the year.
Mindy Fry's team accepted the two distaff members, the two female members of the Bakersfield College Auto Tech program as Nitro interns. There is some rumor that these two women will continue to help the team, and they're going to change the name of the operation from High Speed Motorsports to Team Estrogen.
You said it.
It's a long way to go for that joke. So Jim Murphy versus Mindy Fry. This is all kinds of championship implications already at the season opener.
It does, and you know, Mindy Fry, she's had to face the two toughest cars in the series in the first two rounds. So here she is again against last year's champion, Jim Murphy. Tough day.
Mindy marches
right down
towards a potential second consecutive March meet title. Her 560 at 250 miles an hour will make her, I would say, the prohibitive favorite in a March meet final against the sophomore, Pete Wittenberg.
Yeah, absolutely. A 560. I mean, tremendous performance out of that car.
So I think the drama is going to be they're going to get this thing in. The weather's been inclement. They are marching to finish this thing tonight. I think track conditions are going to only get colder. They've been somewhat marginal all day. It's not going to get any better.
You know, Cole, the temperature is already dropping quickly. The track will get cold, and they want to get this in by 7 o'clock.
Right.
That gives these guys not much time to turn the cars around, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be very challenging for the tuners and the drivers. And the driver, you have to get in a mindset where you're going to attack the track, go to the finish line no matter what. You've got to keep it in the groove. You've got to leave on time. You know you're going to have to backpedal. You're going to have to catch it. These cars do not like cold racetracks.
So come back for the Top Fuel final at the 60th March meet, where the drivers and the tuners will prove their mettle.
With a tune-up engineered by California Hot Rod Reunion winner Jim Young, underdog Pete Wittenberg is maneuvering his way to his first victory in a Heritage Series Top Fuel car. Standing in his way of claiming the same trophy owned by one of his heroes, Don Perdome, is Mindy Fry. In 1962, March Meet made Don Perdome's career. Will fate be as kind to Pete Wittenberg, or is Bakersfield just another boulevard of broken dreams?
Here we are, the Top Fuel final of the 60th March meet. Mindy Fry versus Pete Wittenberg, and on a track that is cold as...
Cold. 50 degrees. Too cold.
I was going to say as a witch's mammalian protuberance in a clutch can.
I know you're a writer and a literary genius.
I was just trying to make it PG-13. So these guys have definitely got to figure out what's going on with this track, driver and tuner alike.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely challenging. You know, now the tune-ups are in the car. I know, you know, both of them detune their cars. You've got to just try to get the car to go down the track. And as a driver, you have to be in the mindset to get it down the track no matter what. So Mindy, of course, is the defending champion. Pete Wittenberg, until today, had only won one round in his young career, and that was at this race a year ago. So, you know, you have to go with Mindy as having the experience, and because it's really difficult to drive these cars when they're in trouble. When everything's perfect, it's kind of easy. They go dead straight down the racetrack. It's when things aren't right that they're challenging.
So it's so easy a girl could do it? Was that where you were going with that?
Sometimes. Sometimes a girl can do it. Mindy's one of the best in the business.
Well, let's see how this shakes out. Pete Wittenberg smokes the tires immediately, but Mindy Fry gets out of shape, out of the groove. The car goes right. She takes out the 660-foot timing cone. And
it's an instant disqualification.
Pete Wittenberg with a 14.22 at 60 miles an hour is your 2018 March Meet Top Fuel champion.